And now on Oakfield Radio, Homer's Odyssey, a classic tale of adventure, performed by Year 6, adapted for radio by Mrs Barrett-Nnochiri, with music and production by Mr Howes.
Thousands of years ago, long before we could watch our favourite stories unfold before us on a screen or read them in a book, storytellers called bards would travel far and wide, thrilling their audiences with stories they have memorised by heart.
They would tell of brave heroes, vengeful gods, and terrible monsters. They would captivate their audiences without the use of lavish scenery, fine costumes, or special effects. Just a single sound of the bard's voice could transport the crowd of listeners to anywhere he wanted them to go in their mind's eye.
Year 6 would like to transport you, now using the same simple techniques as the ancient bards, to the time of the ancient Greeks. Our tale begins on Mount Olympus, where Zeus, Athena, and Poseidon are quarrelling again.
Oh, for Olympus' sake, Poseidon, you're traipsing seaweed everywhere.
Well, sorry, your majesty. Why was I god of the sea summoned here anyway?
Because now the Trojan War is finally over, the victorious Greek soldiers will be embarking on their voyages back to Greece. And as the goddess of wisdom, there is one soldier in particular I would like to ensure is returned safely back home. My favourite mortal, the wise Odysseus, king of Ithaca. I want both of you to agree that you will not cause him any trouble.
Well, we'll just see about that. Get it? See? It's funny because I'm the god of the sea.
It's time to introduce you to the hero favoured by the goddess Athena, the wily King Odysseus, renowned throughout Greece for his sharp mind. As you will come to learn, Odysseus' quick thinking helps him overcome many obstacles.
After a battle that has lasted 10 long years, Odysseus and his men have finally set out on their journey to their homeland Ithaca. Odysseus is looking forward to being reunited with his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus, who are waiting for him. You'll meet them later.
We've been sailing all day, Odysseus, and we're tired. I spot lands in the distance. Should we rest there for the night?
The crew disembark and head to a cave near the shore. Little do they know this is the land of the Cyclops, lawless giants with only one eye whose favourite snack is weary sailors.
What a horrible, damp, dark cave. But look, men, there's a table with a feast laid out, with cheese and meat and wine. It looks delicious. Let's all tuck in.
There's so much food here. It's a banquet fit for a giant! Look, here he comes! Hide!
Come on, my lovely little sheepies, and you come to settle down for the night while Daddy has his dinner.
It's a terrible one-eyed giant with a flock of giant sheep, and he's rolling a boulder across the mouth of the cave. We're trapped!
Someone dares to have eaten my dinner? Aha, never mind. I spot something even tastier to eat. Humans are my favourite dish. Maybe I'll devour one or two of you now and save the rest for later. That was delicious, and I'll eat the rest of you for breakfast. Now I'm stuffed. I think I shall have a nap.
Odysseus, save us from this horrible monster. Please, get us out of here.
Don't worry, men. I'll think of something. I always do. My tricks are legendary, and this one will be no different. Now listen carefully. Here's what we shall do. We will take this wood, carve the end of it into a sharp point, heat it until it glows red, and thrust it into his only eye. Once he is blinded, we will climb underneath the bellies of his giant sheep, so even if he feels their woolly fleeces, he won't detect us. When he lets them out to graze in the morning, we will escape. Now help me blind the Cyclops. On 3. 1, 2, 3!
My eye! Who did this to me? Was blind full of Venus?
It is I, the captain of this crew, and my name is Nobody.
Help! Nobody is hurting me. Please, you can hear me. Nobody is blinding me. Come quick, there's nobody plans to escape.
Haha, you see, men? His Cyclops friends won't bother coming to help him. They think nobody has hurt him. Now quick, each of you climb underneath one of his giant sheep before he lets them out of the cave to graze.
Come, my little sheepies. Let me roll away the boulder so you can go outside. I may not be able to see you, but can still stroke your lovely woolly fleeces.
It's working! It's working! He can't feel us and he's letting us go. We're nearly at the ship. Run for it!
Farewell, Polyphemus, you stupid old giant. Hey guys, what do you call a giant when you take away his eye?
What do you call a giant when you take away his eye?
A giant.
Haha! How about what do you call an annoyed Cyclops? A Cyclops.
Come on, you idiots! Let's get out of here!
But little did Odysseus know, the Cyclops Polyphemus was the son of none other than Poseidon, the god of the sea, and these events had caused quite the stir back on Mount Olympus.
That does it, Athena. I was prepared to let your precious little Odysseus travel the sea safely back to Ithaca. But now he is blinding my beloved son, the Cyclops Polyphemus. I won't stand for it. I must have my revenge.
Oh, can't you do something, Zeus? After all, you are the king of the gods. Please help me protect my champion Odysseus.
I'm afraid not, daughter. And as Poseidon is the king of the sea, and Odysseus' only way home is by ship, I'm afraid he's in for a terrible, treacherous journey.
That's right, Athena. I'll stop at nothing to make sure your darling Odysseus never reaches his homeland. In fact, I know just the place I'll blow his ship to first, the island where the sorceress Circe lives. I'm sure she'll be only too keen to conjure up all sorts of trouble for Odysseus and his men. Ha!
Land ahead, men. Let's rest for the night and hope that there are no more nasty surprises waiting for us. Odysseus, shall we go ahead and look for a place to shelter for the night?
Yes, men. This island is home to some magical herbs. I'll stay and pick some in case we need their protection against any dark magic. I'll follow you shortly.
Why, hello, gentlemen. Welcome to my island. Please, come into my house and let me prepare a feast for you. You must be hungry.
Thank you, kind lady. Our captain Odysseus will be along shortly.
I look forward to meeting him. Whilst we wait for his arrival, let me pour you a nice cold glass of something homemade. Drink up, men. You must be thirsty.
I don't feel so good.
What's happening? I feel like I'm growing a tail. And look, my hands have become hooves.
Your face, you're turning into a...
Oink, 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 oink.
Haha, that's right. I've turned you into pigs and you'll stay here forever as my pets. You're mine, all mine. Or should I say, swine, all swine.
Not so fast, you horrible witch. Those are my men, and I demand that you turn them back right now.
And how are you going to make me?
With this magical plant that I found that protects them from any dark magic. Now change them back before I kill you with it.
Ugh, fine. Who are you anyway? No humans have been clever enough to escape my clutches before.
I am Odysseus, king of Ithaca. My men and I are journeying home.
Odysseus, you say? I've been waiting for you, for I have a prophecy you must hear. You have angered the god Poseidon, and the only way you can learn to appease him is by travelling to the underworld. There, the spirit of old Tiresias will tell you what you must do. No mortal has ever journeyed to the underworld before and come out alive, so you will need your wits more than ever. Now, I have returned your men to their original form. It's time for you to leave my island.
So, Odysseus and his men set off on their dangerous journey to the underworld to seek out old Tiresias.
Meanwhile, far away in Ithaca, Odysseus' wife, Penelope, is having trouble of her own. It has now been many years since her husband Odysseus set sail for the war with the Trojans, and there are many who think that Ithaca is in need of a new king. Seizing their opportunity, dozens of young men have moved into the palace and are all trying to persuade Queen Penelope to marry them.
They are rude, conceited men who abuse the queen's hospitality. They have ransacked the palace, they order the servants round, and they pick on the queen's son Telemachus.
None of these men really love Penelope, they merely wish to be king, but when Penelope is around they shower her with praises.
Oh, Queen Penelope, won't you marry me?
No, Lady Penelope, it is I you should make your king.
Neither of you stand a chance. I'm more charming and handsome than the rest of you fools put together.
Penelope wasn't keen on marrying any of them, but these bold young suitors refused to leave her palace until she had chosen one of them. Luckily, Penelope was just as cunning and resourceful as her husband, so she hatched a clever plan.
Gentlemen, I have begun weaving a tapestry. When it is finished, it will be the most beautiful tapestry in all of Ithaca, as I am the finest weaver in all of the land. I'm afraid it requires every ounce of concentration I have, so I cannot spare the time to pick a new husband. As soon as the tapestry is complete, you will have my decision.
Whatever you wish, my queen, an excellent idea.
I think it's even more excellent than he does, Your Majesty.
Well, I think it's the most excellent idea, most wise and radiant queen.
While the suitors argued amongst themselves, Penelope told her faithful maid Eurycleia all about her clever plan. Listen closely, Eurycleia. Each day, whilst the suitors are watching, I will weave part of the tapestry. Each night, whilst they are sleeping, I will sneak past them and unravel the part I have completed that day. Then in the morning, I will go back to weaving the same part, only to unravel it again that night. They will never know that I am never coming any closer to its completion. A wonderful plan, my lady, one that your clever husband Odysseus would be so proud of.
So Penelope's ingenious plan has bought her more time, which will be much needed, as her husband still has many obstacles to overcome on his journey home. Speaking of Odysseus, he's now at the start of his journey to the underworld. Can you see him there? Kneeling in the grove of Persephone where two rivers meet, he's digging a pit and filling it with honey, milk, wine and water. Look, all of the spirits are gathering round trying to drink from the pit.
What a strange and eerie place. Away, away, spirits. It's Tiresias I'm here for. Tiresias, Tiresias, I need to speak to you.
Odysseus, I've been waiting for you. You have travelled far and through many dangers, but I'm afraid your journey will become a far more perilous one before you reach home. First, you must pass the island of the sirens who lure men to their deaths with their heavenly voices. Then you must sail down a narrow strait passing between two monsters. The first is Scylla, a six-headed monster who will devour one of your crew members in each of her 6 terrible mouths. The other is Charybdis, who will create a violent whirlpool that will sink your entire ship. You cannot avoid both, so must choose between sacrificing 6 men or your entire crew. If you make it out alive, you will come to rest on the island of Thrinacia. This is the home of the sun god Helios's precious cattle. If your crew harm this cattle, they will all die. Once you reach home, you will discover more problems awaiting you. When you resolve them, you must make one final journey to appease the sea god Poseidon, whom you have greatly angered by blinding his son, the Cyclops.
Thank you, Tiresias. I will do as you have said. Now I must rejoin my crew and prepare to sail past the wicked sirens.
Look, men, Odysseus is back. What did you learn, Odysseus? Tell us.
Our journey is far from over, men. First, we must sail past the sirens. These creatures may look and sound beautiful, but they will call to us in beautiful song, but they only mean to draw us close enough to dash us against the rocks and drown us. To get past them, I will stuff your ears with beeswax to block out the sounds of their voices. I wish to hear their song, so you will tie me to the mast of the ship so that I will not be able to steer us off of our course. Quick, we don't have much time.
Excellent thinking, Odysseus. Let's make sure these ropes are secure. Quickly, I think I can hear their music in the distance.
Towards the rocks your ship must steer, full of our voices ringing in our heart. Hear our siren song and have no fear. Sleep in the ocean so peaceful and calm. Don't try to resist when we drag you down. Follow our voices across the sea. This is a place where sailors drown and sleep for all eternity.
It's so beautiful! Please, men, untie me!
It's working. I can't.
hear a thing.
I can't hear you. What did you say?
What did you say? I can't hear a thing.
I can't hear a thing. What did you say? Well done, men, but our troubles are only just beginning. Ahead lie two monsters, Scylla and Charybdis. Listen, I can hear them.
My name is Scylla with 6 long heads. My terrible teeth will fill you with dread. I'll stick out each long and winding neck and snatch up 6 sailors right from their deck. There's just one thing I'd wish for though, to swallow more than 6 of you in one go.
I am Charybdis, I have just one goal. I'm a monstrous whirlpool who'll eat you whole. No one can escape my vortex of doom as I drag you down to your watery tomb. So come on men, tell us what's it gonna be. You have to take your chances with Scylla or me.
We have to steer towards Scylla, men. I'm sorry, it's our only hope of getting out alive. Hold on tight.
So 6 of his men were sacrificed to the monster Scylla, and with heavy hearts Odysseus and his men approached the island of Thrinacia. Odysseus had not forgotten old Tiresias' warning to leave the sacred cattle alone.
Listen, men, under no circumstances may lay a finger on the cattle who live on this island. They belong to Helios, god of the sun. If anything happens to them, our death shall pay the price. Now promise that you will leave them alone.
We promise, Odysseus.
Very well. Now I must go and pray to the gods and ask them to protect us from any more disasters on this journey. But remember, leave the cattle alone.
I know we promised, but those cows look so good. What I wouldn't give for some nice juicy meat.
And not just any meat, divine, sacred meat.
The sun god is a very busy man, driving his chariot across the sky and encircling the world every day. Do you really think he'd notice if one cow went missing?
Come on, men, surely one won't hurt.
So Odysseus' men broke their word, and no sooner had the blade pierced the skin of the heavenly heifer, our immortal trio were up in the arms again on Mount Olympus.
Ha! He's done it this time. Crossing the sun god. He'll be boiling mad when he finds out. Then things will really heat up.
Stay out of this, Poseidon. Zeus, is there anything that can be done?
I'm afraid, Athena, that this act was sacrilege cannot be forgiven. Odysseus' crew have stolen from the gods, and now they will perish. However, as Odysseus himself played no part in the crime, I will spare his life alone. Without a crew, though, it will almost be impossible to continue his journey by ship.
And with that, Zeus hurled one of his mighty thunderbolts and wiped out the entire crew, leaving Odysseus completely alone.
With great haste, Odysseus set sail once more. The great ship was too large for one man to steer, and with Poseidon still pursuing him with rough and wild waves, Odysseus was soon thrown overboard and cast onto the island of the witch Calypso.
Well, 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 what have we here? A dishevelled and devilishly handsome man washed up on my shore. And with no ship, he has no means to escape. I can keep him here forever. Wake up, you magnificent, mouth-watering man.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Calypso, but I really must be getting home. My wife is expecting me, you see.
Wife? Ugh. Well, as finders keepers, I'm afraid. I found you, and now I'm going to keep you, whether you like it or not.
So for 5 whole years, Calypso, mad with love, kept Odysseus captive on her island.
Tell me you love me, Odysseus.
Yuck.
Say it.
Never. Until one day, the goddess Athena had had enough and decided to pay Calypso a visit.
Now you listen here, Calypso. You've kept Odysseus for 5 whole years, and he still doesn't love you. Now you can hand him over to me right now so I can take him home to Ithaca, and you're going to back off. Come, Odysseus, I'm the goddess Athena, goddess of wisdom. As one of the wisest warriors the world has known, you have always been my favourite. And now I will take you home safely, out of Poseidon's vengeful reach. There is much to discuss. Your wife Penelope remains faithful to you, but a mob of suitors have stormed your palace, each one meaning to take Penelope, his wife, so that he can become king of Ithaca. If you enter the palace in plain sight, they will certainly kill you. You must enter in disguise and bide your time. Your son Telemachus, who was just a baby when you set sail for Troy, is now an almost full-grown man. He will help you.
Pallas Athena, how can I ever thank you? With these rags and this old cloak, I will enter the palace disguised as a poor beggar seeking food and shelter. They will never suspect me. Now I can see the rocky beaches and the rolling hills in the distance. This place I've reached, is it truly Ithaca?
You are finally home, Odysseus. Now seek out your son, Telemachus.
Hello? Who's there? Why, hello, old man. My name is Telemachus, Prince of Ithaca. You look tired and hungry. Follow me into the palace where you can rest and have something to eat.
Telemachus does not recognise his father, cleverly disguised as an old beggar, so the goddess Athena uses her magic to restore his appearance. Telemachus looks on astounded as the old man before him is transformed into a glorious hero. The grey hairs on his beard turn dark again, his weathered face becomes smoother. Now he stands smiling before his son in a gleaming white tunic.
Father, is that really you? It is I, home at last to rule Ithaca again.
But father, we must be careful. A mob of greedy, scheming suitors have forced their way into the palace, hoping to become the new king of Ithaca. Mother has delayed them as much as possible, but while they wait, they eat all our food and drink all our wine, and order us the servants around. They are treacherous men who would surely kill you if they thought you had returned.
Then I shall disguise myself as an old beggar man once more. Watch as I enter the palace unsuspected.
What do you want, you filthy old man?
Please, sir. Please, sir. I'm hungry and need to rest. The queen of this palace is kind and generous. Let me come inside and sit down.
Fine, but don't touch anything. Look, men, a nasty old beggar has come to raid the queen's stores. What makes him think he has any right?
If you don't mind me saying, gentlemen, it looks to me as if it is you who are abusing the queen's hospitality and eating her out of house and home, lounging around and stuffing your faces.
How dare you, you dirty old fool. Soon one of us will become king of Ithaca, so show some respect.
Ha! None of you are fit to be king, you pompous, pathetic pests, and I'll prove it. You see that great bow that hangs on the wall? That bow belongs to the great King Odysseus, the handsome, strong, powerful, wise... Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yes, that bow belonged to Odysseus, and only he was strong enough to use it. I bet there isn't a suitor amongst you with the power to string it and the skill to shoot an arrow from it.
Queen Penelope had been listening to this exchange, and although she did not recognise her husband, his words gave her an idea.
This old man is right. Only someone who can match Odysseus' strength and skill is fit to be king of Ithaca. I will marry the man who can string Odysseus' bow and shoot an arrow straight through the eye of an axe handle. Who wants to try first?
One by one, each of the suitors tried with all their might to string the bow.
But none of them succeeded. Then Odysseus asked if he could try.
You mad old beggar! If we can't do it, you have no chance. Let him try. He'll give us all a good laugh.
Of course you may try, old man, but none so far have matched the strength of my beloved husband.
All eyes were on the old man as he took the bow in his hands. He looped the string around one end and with ease began to bend the great wooden stave. The enormous bow that had seemed so stiff and firm before now appeared supple and delicate. He looped the string around the other end and reached for an arrow from its quiver. As he took his aim, his disguise vanished, and he was transformed into the mighty king, recognisable at once to all who were watching. He released the string and sent the arrow spinning through the air, sailing perfectly through the tiny hole in the axe handle.
King Odysseus, you have returned. Please forgive us.
King Odysseus ignored their pleas, took another arrow from his quiver, and pointed it at the pack of cowering suitors.
Run!
The suitors fled as fast as they could, screaming and crying, with Odysseus in pursuit. Once he had vanquished every last one of them, he turned his attention to his wife and son.
Penelope, Telemachus, I can't believe our family's reunited after all these years.
I thought I would never see you again, but it really is you.
Welcome home, father. It's time to take your place as rightful king of Ithaca.
So Odysseus' epic journey had come to an end. After battling one-eyed giants, outsmarting sorceresses, escaping sea monsters, and venturing into the underworld itself, Odysseus was finally home.